In traffic jams, which lane actually moves the fastest? Everything happens for the moo, as they say in the cow world. I'm going to travel 3 times over a 5-kilometer stretch. The cat is on the table, in the worst traffic jams of the day, and everything is timed. Twingo, this is Genevieve, and we'll tally things up at the end. Genevieve, this is Paris. I don't always take responsibility for all my jokes either. Actually, it's always good to throw in a slightly lame joke among more well-crafted ones. It helps bring everyone together. Look at them, the convicts of the modern road. Millions of lost souls, prisoners of this infernal loop we affectionately call the Paris Ring Road. 35 kilometers of asphalt built on the ruins of the old Thiers Wall, completed in 1973 under the presidency of Georges Pompidou, originally designed to free the capital, but which ultimately achieved the opposite feat of trapping all of Île-de-France in a permanent traffic jam. According to extremely serious studies conducted by people in white coats who probably don't even have a driver's license, the average resident of Île-de-France loses 163 hours a year in traffic jams. 163 hours. Over an entire lifetime, that means you spend nearly 2 years staring at the sad rear end of the gray SUV in front of you. 2 years. In 2 years, you could learn Mandarin, read all of Proust, or even try to understand why Michu is so successful. And not find the answer, but no, you're here listening to Les Grosses Têtes and wondering if the lane next to you might be just a little bit faster, and that's where I come in. Like a certain Mr. Desbois, who shared this wonderful first name with me, I decided to be generous. Don't worry, I won't steal your money to give it to the poor. The state already does that well. No, I've decided to help you live longer by saving you time. Today, thanks to an absolutely rigorous scientific demonstration, I will answer this question that has haunted humanity since the invention of the turn signal. In traffic jams, which lane really moves the fastest? But to carry out this experiment, which is crucial for the future of our civilization, I needed a small precision tool, a surgical scalpel capable of slipping into the narrowest spaces. I needed this. Here is the brand new Renault Twingo, the 4th generation model, the electric reincarnation of the 1993 roller skating frog. At the time, Patrick Lequimont, the designer of the Twingo, had to fight against his entire management team to impose this smiling mini minivan design. As a result, 2.5 million units were sold. Today, Renault is bringing it back to life with an 82 horsepower electric motor, a full set of features, and a starting price under 20,000 euros. At that price, Renault had to make a few compromises. The fast charger is optional, and it was largely designed in China. Nevertheless, at 3.79 meters long and its bumper car-like turning radius, it's the perfect weapon for our test. The method is simple, scientifically flawless. I will drive 3 times over a 5-kilometer stretch in the worst traffic jams of the day and time everything. Once in the middle lane, once in the right lane, once in the left lane, and we'll tally up the results at the end. Obviously, purists and grumblers, the statisticians, will say that we should have had 3 identical cars starting at the same time with 3 drivers. To that I reply, have you ever tried to find 2 friends willing to spend their afternoon on the ring road of their own free will? No? Well, neither have I. All right, here we go. We're switching to urban depression mode. We're going to start the timer. So we're going to start with the middle lane. The rational choice. It's the kind of limp compromise lane for people who are afraid to commit to the left, but still think the right has a few good ideas. You should know that nearly 1.5 million vehicles use the Paris Ring Road every day. It's the busiest urban highway in Europe. And since October 2024, the Paris City Hall, in a burst of pure sadism, has lowered the maximum speed to 50 kilometers per hour. A truly fascinating decision when you know that the average speed here is 38 kilometers per hour. It's like banning a legless person from running a 100-meter dash in under 10 seconds. But let's talk about our ride, the Twingo. The original Twingo was a miracle of space optimization. You could fold down all the seats to make a double bed, perfect for conceiving the next generation of Twingo drivers. This new Twingo picks up plenty of tricks from its ancestor when it comes to interior space, and even though it's 36 centimeters longer than the first version, in today's traffic, it kind of feels like driving an espresso capsule. It's so lively and maneuverable, it feels like I could drive it with just my eyebrows. On the other hand, the person who designed the controls clearly didn't care about ergonomics at all. They're everywhere, and there's one for the gears, one for the windshield wipers, one for the radio, and on the other side for the turn signals and the headlights. The problem is, earlier I wanted to turn on the windshield wipers and I put it in reverse, which slightly surprised the person who was behind me. While I'm still trying to figure out why Renault put so many levers behind the steering wheel, I realized that we've been driving in the middle lane for almost 5 kilometers. And apparently the center, which should combine the qualities of both the left and the right, also brings together all their flaws. And above all, by being in the middle, you become twice as aware of your mediocrity if the other two lanes are moving faster than you. All right, now let's move to the right lane and restart the timer for 5 kilometers. Can a Swiss priest who's lactose intolerant still like Petit Suisse? I have no idea. Anyway, what I do know is that if you ever want to try the new Twingo and get the best deals available right now, you just have to click on the link below the video. That much I know. I don't know everything, but I do know that. That much I know. The right lane, the kingdom of cowards, and people who've been looking for their exit since 2003. The right lane is an open-air sociological study. According to researchers who clearly have too much free time, this lane is only the fastest in 10% of cases. Why? Because this is where everyone gets in and out. It's the waiting hall of the ring road. Everyone passes through, no one stays, and yet it doesn't move forward. I calculated that if you spend 25 minutes a day stuck in traffic at a standstill and use that time to learn German, in less than 3 years, you'll be able to read all of Tugit in the original. Die Katze ist auf dem Tisch. 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 Die Katze, die Sonne und dich. I'm still a bit short on traffic jams. Unfortunately, most people use that time to pick their nose or insult the mother of the guy next to them. It's a lot less culturally enriching, but a bit more satisfying, that's true. But you have to admit that even when the weather is nice like this, the ring road is still a bit lacking in joy. And even if the word Twingo is a contraction of the words twist, swing, and tango, here on the ring road, in this environment, it's more like sad, gloomy, and dirty. I couldn't find anything better. While I contemplate the emptiness of my existence at 12 kilometers per hour, our Twingo is doing just fine in this hell of modern traffic. Sure, it has a tiny 27 or 27.5 kW of a battery, which is about the energy capacity of a luxury electric toothbrush. But in traffic jams, electric is king and silence is golden. No vibrations, no struggling gearbox, just the gentle purr of collective despair. It's true, the battery is small, but there's 260 kilometers of range. So I could drive around the ring road until the Paris City Hall decides to turn it all into one big giant bike lane. Which, if the weather allows, should happen by next Tuesday. It's now time to move on to the moment of truth. The left lane, the winner's lane, the fast lane, the territory of SUVs heading to La Défense, of Audi A3s, tailgating you with the intensity of a tick, except that on this ring road, the left lane is now reserved for carpooling. At least 2 occupants, and me, I'm all alone. Or rather, I was alone. Twingo, this is Genevieve. Genevieve, this is Paris. Genevieve is a big fan of carpooling. She doesn't talk much, which actually makes her a far better than average passenger. She doesn't ask me to lower the music. And she doesn't take out her phone to watch reels the whole ride. Don't worry, they're not coming for you. I love you, love you. My little darling. All right, that's fine, but Genevieve, can you start the timer? All right, don't worry, I'll take care of it. Let's see if the left lane is really, as everyone thinks, the fastest lane. After all, from a sociological point of view, there's a good chance it's the fastest lane because the people in it chose to be there. By the way, a Dutch study, the Dutch who, by the way, do everything better than us except cheese, showed that in 40% of cases, the left lane is indeed the fastest. The right lane, 10%, and the middle lane, somewhere in between. And psychologically, it's a completely different experience because when you're in the right lane, you see others moving ahead and you feel like a loser. When you're in the middle lane, you see both sides moving ahead and you don't know what to think anymore. And when you're in the left lane, no matter if the others are moving ahead or not, in any case, you feel superior. The big problem with the left lane is the accordion effect. You speed up hard, you brake hard, and psychologically it's destructive. The left lane is a trap set by human ego. Everyone rushes in, thinking they're smarter than others, causing the congestion they hope to avoid. That's the paradox of the left lane. Fortunately, in this Twingo, all this stress is almost bearable. The suspension is surprisingly good for a car this size, the seats are super comfortable, and they've put a big 10-inch screen in the middle, which is perfect for watching the GPS map turn blood red. Why are you staring at my girlfriend? I must be dreaming. With that Golf of yours, I have a Twingo. It's much more manly. Right, Genevieve Magenou. The knee on its knees tonight. So some people think that maybe the best solution would be to take the left lane, the right lane, the middle lane, to zigzag. Well, Dutch researchers have clarified one essential thing. Slaloming would only save you about 40 seconds on average, depending on the traffic jam, of course, but only 40 seconds. On the other hand, it would increase your stress level by 40,000%. You know, Genevieve, this Twingo has a story. Because the first one that came out in '93 almost never existed. Wait, I'll explain why. Yves Dubreuil, who was the project manager, had a rather unique negotiation technique to lower costs, but I deeply admire him for it. In fact, he would sit across from the supplier at a table, open his wallet, take out a 200 franc bill, put it on the table, and say to the supplier, "We can't go over this budget. There's no room for negotiation. What can you do for us for 200 francs?" Of course, one by one, the suppliers would get up and leave, until there was only one left, and he was the one who got the contract. And for this new Twingo, in the end, Renault did almost the same thing, except this time, they called the Chinese. And the car was designed, this one here, in 21 months. 21 months instead of the usual 4 years. Actually, the method hasn't changed. Just the table. You are an admirable conversationalist, Genevieve. Well, anyway, I think we're about to hit the 5-kilometer mark in the left lane. It's time to stop the timer and move on to the assessment. The moment of truth. Science has spoken. To cover 5 kilometers in the hell of the Paris Ring Road, in the right lane, it takes you 17 minutes and 12 seconds. The choice of masochists. In the middle lane, it will take you 16 minutes and 58 seconds. The perfect choice for the indecisive. And finally, the left lane, 14 minutes and 21 seconds. The winner's lane, especially thanks to Genevieve. So, what should we take away from all this? Well, if you want to move forward, get in the left lane and stay there. You'll thank me for saving you 26 hours of your life per year. Next, if you really want to face this Parisian purgatory, do it in a small, maneuverable, inexpensive, and fun. This new Twingo is smart. Of course, it's not perfect. It has hard plastics, it has a dashboard that's way too big for it. It has an optional charger that's borderline a scam. And it has so many controls that the area around the steering wheel looks like the inside of a glory hole on a Thursday night. It's mischievous, with a touch of soul that makes you smile even when you're stuck behind a garbage truck at Porte de la Chapelle. And all that for less than 20,000 euros today in the current automotive world. That's almost a little miracle. So how do I wrap up this video? Well, I'll probably end by telling you this. Let's not get carried away by our impatience. In any case, the fastest lane is always the one we're not in. Unlike the most patient girl who deflates and fits in the glove box of a Twingo.